Next, I'd like to introduce Sensei Charlotte Martin, Rukadan from Ottawa, Ontario. Sensei Charlotte began karate in 1973 and helped start the Delhi Club, which was called Simcoe North. In 1991, she ran a club in Port Dover and taught until 2008 when she moved to Ottawa. Now, Sensei Charlotte sent her reflections, and we're pleased that Sensei Heather Fiddick is going to read them on her behalf.
So I feel very honored that I get to read and tell you a little bit about Sensei Charlotte. She actually sent this, and so I'm going to be reading in first person, so as if and they are her words. I began karate in 1973, helped found and teach the Delhi Club, then what was called Simcoe North. In 1991, I took over a club in Port Dover and taught until 2008 when I left the club in Tim McCullough's safe hands and moved to Ottawa, where there were no Wado clubs. Pretty much all of the best people I've known and hold dear are karate people. That's just the way Wado Kai is. A student asked Sensei Shintani once if he'd ever had to use his karate, and Sensei replied, "I use it every day." I think I can say the same. In October 1973, a co-worker invited me to go check out a judo club in Port Dover, Ontario. I was really keen because I had read a bit about judo and was intrigued by the physics of the art. We walked up a long wooden staircase to a large empty room above a carpet store. Half the floor was covered with tatamis where the judo was practiced. The remainder was a bare wood floor for the karate class. As I sat watching, all thoughts of judo left me. I reached behind me to the table where registration forms and pens lay. I filled out the form and my karate life began. The dojo itself was rudimentary, one that was hot in the summer and cold in the winter. At break, people would pass around a hammer to pound down the nails that had popped up during the first hour. The sensei was our Sensei Shintani. He was 47 years old and held the rank of 7th Dan. He was quiet, spoken, but focused, and his movements were precise and explosive. Everyone knew him as Shintani, not Sensei. No first name, just Shintani. He taught at various clubs in the Niagara Peninsula and came to Port Dover Tuesdays and Thursdays, often bringing Brad Cosby with him. The randomness of life had brought me to a meeting with a true karate master and set me on a path I would follow through my life. My immediate family pointedly showed no interest in my passion and made their disapproval quite clear. I carried on following my heart, as we all should. Along the way, I met young Ron Matty and Dennis LeBay and their friend Peter Trophy, along with many, many others. Most of my fellow students were men, but there were a small core of women. Often life and family commitments would take over and the women would drift on to other things. Women were always treated with respect in this system because respect is the essence of karate. Sensei Shintani didn't want men and women to compete with each other, especially in kumite, because he felt that if the man won, it would look like it was too easy. And if the woman won, that would be embarrassing. He was very concerned about preserving a man's self-esteem. The male ego was to be protected. The women were more resilient on that front, apparently. I don't think anyone minded. Sensei Shintani was kind to everyone, but he was less tolerant of people who were showing off. If someone was being flashy, he'd say, "Oh, that guy, he's such a hot dog," which was funny, but being humble is part of Wado Kai. He said, being humble until you bow into the ring and then you do your best you can to show what your sensei has taught you. Then you would bow out and go back to being humble. Sensei said, treat even the youngest white belt with the same respect you would a high-ranking black belt, because they may be one someday and they'll know how to treat others. Sensei always found a way to help people with any physical problems to learn and use karate, knowing that would strengthen their minds and bodies and make their lives better. Karate is for anyone, any age. As well as teaching great workouts, Sensei Shintani also loved to sit and talk. He talked of life, his children, his childhood. He told stories that had lessons folded into them. When asked about kata, he would talk about kumite. And when asked about kumite, he would talk about kata. How each is equally important and support each other to make a whole. Practice one to learn the other. At the end of most workouts and on special events, we went to a restaurant where food and copious cups of coffee were consumed. Sensei put at least 5 packets of sugar in each cup. He would crack the packets, open the middle, across, and then as you would crack an egg, dump the contents in and stir, all want. Sensei always looked ahead and strived to make Wado Kai grow and evolve while retaining its traditional core values. With the right choice of leaders, he ensured that his vision is being fulfilled. Thanks for asking me to do this. Sorry we didn't get to see each other in person. Cheers, Sensei Charlotte.
That was awesome. Thank you for reading that, Sensei Heather. What a great perspective of being a woman, in the early days. I think that's awesome. So thank you.